The season is practically over for Rangers with no trophies left to chase and little else on the line. All eyes now turn to what comes next. The next few months will be crucial with promises of major investment, a squad rebuild, and perhaps the dawn of a new era at Ibrox. The headlines are already beginning to fill up with big stories, and one of the major ones is that Rangers look set to close in on a fresh midfield signing. This could be the first of many moves in a summer that's expected to be as busy as it is transformative. But before diving into transfer business, let's rewind to a significant return. After more than 5 months on the sidelines, Casano finally stepped back onto the pitch, playing for Rangers B in the Glasgow Cup final against Celtic at Firhill. It was a high-stakes occasion, and Casano, who isn't typically known for scoring, opened the scoring after 33 minutes. He capitalized on a loose ball, showed strength to hold off Celtic's Mitchell Robertson, and slotted the ball calmly past goalkeeper Marcus Gill. A composed finish and a moment that spoke volumes about his character after such a long layoff. The 23-year-old was joined in the starting lineup by Finlay Curtis, another name from the first team squad. But Casano's evening ended at the break, as planned, with his minutes carefully managed after such a long injury spell. His return is a boost for Rangers as they prepare for a summer overhaul, and his ability to contribute both defensively and going forward could be a key asset moving forward. Meanwhile, attention is turned to a young talent currently playing for Dundee, Josh Mulligan. At 22 years old, the versatile midfielder who can also slot in at right back is out of contract at the end of the season. That has alerted a host of clubs, including some from the English Championship. But it's Rangers who seem best positioned to make a move, having kept tabs on him for months. While no deal has been signed yet, there's a growing sense that Mulligan could follow Lyle Cameron, his teammate, who has already agreed to join Rangers this summer on a pre-contract. Dundee manager Tony Docherty, however, isn't throwing in the towel just yet. He's made it clear that he still hopes to convince Mulligan to stay. Speaking passionately about his squad, he pointed out how Mulligan, Cameron, and Luke McCowan have all shown significant growth this season. The message was simple. Dundee wants to keep their best players, but they're also proud to see them earn recognition. It's a delicate balance, but as it stands, Mulligan's future hangs in the balance. Beyond individual signings, though, the biggest story swirling around Ibrox is far more monumental. After months of whisper speculation and behind-the-scenes meetings, Rangers have finally confirmed that a takeover process is underway. The American group 49ers Enterprises, already heavily involved in Leeds United, is now on the brink of securing a controlling 51% stake in Rangers. If completed, this deal would mark a seismic shift in the club's future. Sources suggest that an official announcement could come within days. It's the kind of development that could change everything, from boardroom decisions to budget, allocations, recruitment strategies to global branding. Fans understandably are excited, but they're also cautious. After all, this season has been another bitter pill to swallow. No silverware, a 17-point gap behind Celtic in the league, a sense that under the current leadership, the club has stagnated. The hope is that fresh ownership can bring fresh ambition. But not everyone is sold on the 49ers just yet. A former Scottish Premiership chief executive issued a stark warning to the American investors, stressing that owning Rangers is a whole different beast compared to Leeds United. According to him, the 49ers might not fully grasp what they're getting into. This isn't just a football club. It's an institution steeped in history, passion, and fierce rivalry. Glasgow football isn't like anything else. The stakes are higher, the scrutiny sharper, the expectations relentless. He made it clear that Rangers CEO James Bisgrove, who's played a pivotal role in facilitating the takeover, will have an enormous responsibility in bridging the cultural gap. The Americans may bring resources, but they'll also need to adapt quickly. And while they've had success with Leeds United, who recently secured promotion back to the English Premier League, managing Rangers is another challenge altogether. The intensity in Glasgow, both on and off the pitch, will be something they have never experienced. As the takeover edges closer, many supporters are dreaming of a new beginning, but the margin for error is razor thin. Any misstep in this environment will be magnified tenfold. Rangers fans demand success, and they demand it now. The club has gone too long without being at the top, and the clock is ticking. This summer will be defining, not just in terms of transfers, but in terms of identity, leadership, and direction. And speaking of identity, one player who has stood tall amid the chaos of the season is Nicholas Raskin. In a squad where very few have impressed, Raskin has emerged as a standout. At just 24 years old, the Belgian international has shown leadership grit and a genuine passion for the badge. Voted Rangers Player of the Year by both fans and teammates, he's become a symbol of what the club needs more of. But his future is far from certain. With just over 2 years left on his contract, Rangers must decide whether to offer him a new deal or risk losing him like they did with Ryan Kent, Alfredo Morelos, and John Lundstrom. That's a mistake the club simply cannot afford to repeat. Raskin has already stated his dream is to play in the English Premier League. And after seeing players like Nathan Patterson and Calvin Bassey move south and thrive, the temptation will surely grow. There's no doubt he could attract big offers. His energy in midfield, his technical quality, and his tactical intelligence make him a hot commodity. If Rangers decide to cash in, they could earn a hefty fee, perhaps even north of £10 million. But losing him would also leave a massive hole in the heart of the team. More than just a player, Raskin has become a potential leader. With James Tavernier nearing the end of his career, many believe Raskin is the obvious candidate to take the armband. He hasn't yet won a trophy at Rangers, and that alone might be enough to convince him to stay for at least another season or two. The chance to lift a title in front of the Ibrox faithful, to be remembered as the captain who brought glory back to the blue side of Glasgow. That's the kind of legacy players dream about. The American investment may bring in new names, but keeping Raskin might be just as important as any signing. That's where we are today, a club on the edge of major change. A squad in need of surgery, a fan base desperate for direction, and a summer looming that will shape the next chapter of Rangers Football Club. And while the boardroom battles heat up, there's still football being played. And the recent Glasgow Cup final was more than just silverware for the B team. It was a glimpse into the future, a moment for the young lads to show they're not just filling shirts but pushing to be part of the next generation at Ibrox. Under Stephen Smith, the young girls showed real bottle. Up against the technically stronger Celtic side, they never backed down. Casano's opener was a proper striker's finish, and even when the Celts equalized, the boys held firm. Penalties were decided, and up stepped Jacob Pazikas, the young keeper with ice in his veins, pulling off 3 massive saves to lift the trophy. A big moment for him, and one that surely caught the eye of the higher-ups. But while the kids celebrated, fans were already turning their focus back to the big picture, the first team. And the question everyone's asking is dead simple, Ken. Rangers close the gap next season, because right now it's a chasm, 17 points behind Celtic, knocked out of Europe early doors, no domestic trophies, and too many performances that lacked any sort of spark or identity. The fans are restless. And they've got every right to be. That's why the arrival of the 49ers Enterprises is being seen as more than just a business deal. They're not buying shares. They're buying into a legacy. This club isn't a side project. It's not a franchise. It's Rangers, a club with over 150 years of history, an unrelenting support and expectations as heavy as the badge on the shirt. If they want to succeed, they'll need more than just cash. They'll need understanding. They'll need football people who get it. Names like Alex Ray and Kevin Thompson have been floated as potential liaisons, folk who can bridge the gap between the old guard and the new regime. And that's exactly what's needed, because modernization is fine, but lose your identity and you're just another club. Rangers need to evolve without forgetting who they are. Grow but stay grounded. The upcoming appointment of a new sporting director is crucial. He'll shape the club's recruitment, long-term strategy, and squad planning. And after years of poor windows and patchy signings, there's no room for missteps. The margin for error is gone. Meanwhile, Philippe Clement continues his assessment of the squad, and he's made it clear changes are coming. He wants a fitter, faster, more dynamic team, less project players, more proven quality. And for that, he'll need full backing from the boardroom, from the new investors, and from the fans in the stands. This summer window could well be the most important in a decade for Rangers, not just because of the players who come in, but because of what it symbolizes. A chance to reset, to get back on track, to reignite belief. The fans have made their stance clear. No more empty promises. They want boldness. They want purpose. They want Rangers back where they belong. And in all this, players like Nico Raskin might play a bigger role than folk realize. Because Rangers don't just need good footballers. They need standard bearers, lads who care, who fight, who understand what it means to wear the jersey. Raskin's shown he's got that fire. The club know it, and so do the fans. So now we wait. It's going to be a massive summer in Govan, on and off the pitch. And every move, every contract signed, every player sold or brought in will be under the microscope. Because failure is no longer an option, and Rangers can't afford to fall short again. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's something quietly unsettling circulating through the Scottish footballing community. A whisper, a rumor that Kenny Miller, the relentless striker once caught between the blue of Rangers and the green of Celtic, might be facing a storm in his personal life. It's the kind of news that hits harder than a Derby Day tackle. Though no official statement has emerged, sources close to Miller suggest the former Scotland international is enduring a difficult chapter, far removed from the glory days of Hampden Park and Ibrox. It's hard not to reflect on the sheer magnitude of Miller's journey. Born in Edinburgh in 1979, Kenny's boots touched every corner of the game, from the youth pitches of Hibs to the grand stages of Europe. For many, he remains a rare and controversial figure, one of just 5 post-war players to have donned both the blue of Rangers and the green and white hoops of Celtic. To survive that alone takes a certain grit, a kind of resilience not taught in training sessions. His career read like a tale of unrelenting motion, from Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he tasted English silverware, to Derby County, Bursaspor, in Turkey, and a notable spell in Canada with Vancouver. Each chapter came with its own pressure, its own test. But wherever he went, Kenny brought that unmistakable fire. A lone striker, often under siege, but never short of fight. His 18 goals for Scotland speak less of flair and more of sheer determination. Now, as assistant coach with Atlanta United in MLS, Miller had seemed to find his place once more, guiding the next generation from the touchline. That's why these recent murmurs are particularly sobering. The same man who carried the weight of 2 footballing nations on his back may now be shouldering burdens of a more private nature. Football, in its brutality, rarely pauses for reflection. But perhaps now is the time. Kenny Miller was never just another player. He was a symbol of resolve, of relentless movement forward. And if he's indeed going through hardship, the hope is that the same fight that defined his playing days carries him through the off-pitch battles as well. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.